Andrew Tate and his younger brother Tristan are in custody in Romania while police investigate allegations of rape, trafficking, and organised crime. Prosecutors say that the brothers recruited victims by seducing them and falsely claiming they wanted a relationship, before manipulating them into working in their adult entertainment chat rooms.
Everyone's been in love before. Everyone knows the power of that emotion and the things that you do for it. Any kind of rationale or logic kind of leaves your body and you find yourself doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And this is just another one of those situations.
Since Sophie first met Andrew Tate.
Yep.
So, look, I don't know the demographic of your audience, but if you're a male, this should be of concern to you. Because just think about how they're trying to frame this. What they're basically saying is, if someone falls in love with you or you fall in love with them, how does that work? Sometimes you do things for them, sometimes they do things for you. So now, if someone's in love with you, that person can say, at any time, because I was in love with that person, and based on that, I didn't have autonomy, and so therefore that person did things to me without consent. That's the extreme feminist world now we're moving towards, and this is propagated by this documentary.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He's gone from obscurity to global internet sensation, with his hypermasculine content promoting male superiority spreading across all social media platforms. But his meteoric rise to fame last year came as no surprise to Sophie.
It was kind of annoying to see his name everywhere, but I knew. I said it to all my friends. It's a matter of time before they figure out what's really going on here.
She spent months in Romania with Tate, believing that she was Tate's girlfriend. But as she'll tell us later in this programme, he quickly became controlling and violent at his home on the outskirts of Bucharest.
And that's where I'm heading now, a country I've been travelling back and forth to for nearly 3 decades. Romania has changed a lot. There are Porsches and Ferraris driving down these boulevards today, and lots of young tech entrepreneurs posing outside fashionable restaurants. Now, I'm on my way to Andrew Tate's house.
I'm saying if you want to be happy as a man and you want to have a good relationship nowadays, you got to learn to pick up, sleep with, and you got to learn to tear through some chicks. Because if you're just
So why did he leave Luton in the first place? And why Romania?
In the Western legal systems, if a girl says something, she needs zero proof. They will come and they will arrest you and they'll put you on bail and they will search your stuff and go through your phone and go through your personal life and find new things to charge you with. It's insanity. And I thought, I can't live under this system anymore, so I had to move somewhere with common sense rules.
Those common sense rules mean that the Romanian prosecutor...
It seems like he didn't escape that. He's dealing with the same issues in Romania, isn't he?
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, it is ironic, and I'll give the BBC producer credit that he didn't reframe that as other people do. Mm-hmm. Others reframe it as making it look like he was trying to break the law, or he was trying to find another country where he could basically break the law or, you know, take advantage of women. So just to give him some credit, he actually pointed out quite rightly that it is a great irony that he went to a country thinking the laws would be not as mental in terms of the Me Too movement and basically man hate, but in reality he ended up getting stuck about the same situation.
Yeah.
Now say he's too dangerous to release while they continue investigating his activities. He might be having some regrets about that earlier interview.
This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want. I like being free.
Right. I'm just approaching Tate's house along here. We've just been past a big sprawling Orthodox cemetery. And there's a rubbish tip here. And a lot of wasteland. Is pretty bleak. And it's supposed to be just down here. And I've got to tell you, this isn't the kind of place you'd expect a trillionaire to live at all. Tate's home looks more like a meat factory than a social media star's villa. If I'd got here a week or so earlier, the car park outside would have been full of supercars, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, but they were seized by police after Tate and his brother were arrested back in December. Police also found gold watches, guns, knives and money. The cars and watches alone came to 3.7 million euros. There's property and land on top of that.
So here, this is going to be one example, but it'll happen throughout many times where there'll be contradictions within this show. So first of all, he highlights the extreme value of the assets that were seized. So he said 3.7 million, which would indicate that someone is of wealth if they've got assets, disposable assets of that value. But then on the other hand, he frames the entire discussion as trying to say, guess what? He has no money. It's all fake. And he's trying to demonstrate a certain lifestyle that isn't seeped in reality. So that's one example of contradiction. Another thing is that he tries to frame his house as some kind of meat factory. Now, it could be possible, and from the pictures, it doesn't look luxurious from the outside, but that doesn't mean that it's not luxurious on the inside. So again, it's the way he's framing it, which is to basically make Tate look like some kind of psychopath.
Yeah, and Jerry's pointing out here in the chat, they keep using the term trillionaire, which I think is an exaggerated term that Andrew used to sort of amplify his aura. He's not a trillionaire. Trillionaires would have yachts and own private jets. They don't rent them, sort of thing. Like, we don't even have trillionaires. Like, Elon Musk is a billionaire. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not a trillionaire. And again, that's an example of the media taking his statements literally. Like, he's not a trillionaire. He's just a wealthy man. He's obviously a millionaire. And also on top of that as well, I would say his company, the Real World, is probably worth a £1 billion company. So depending on how you evaluate someone's worth, there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah. All right, let's carry on here.
Where did it all come from? How did Tate amass such wealth?
Tate was a champion kickboxer, born in America but trained in a Luton gym.
I don't go down. I take my shit. Hey, the guy who gave me this black eye, he quit first because I busted him in his face and he fell down. So I still won.
Ripped, violent, and hyper-masculine. It would all feed into his later online persona. When he left the ring, he was looking for fame. And in 2016, he appeared in Big Brother.
I don't care if nobody down there likes me. I'm sure by now, everyone's already pre-decided they don't like me, and that's fine. So I know I'm the most intelligent person in this house. I know I'm the most capable person in this house. Fact.
But his first shot at fame went wrong. He was thrown out of the Big Brother house after videos emerged of him beating an ex-girlfriend with a belt. Later, it turned out he'd also been...
So this one is well known through social media, and it shows a lack of journalism, a lack of either integrity or a lack of doing the job properly. Because in reality, when it comes to this alleged beating, there's significant amount of videos out there. It literally took me like 20 minutes to find all the videos. The woman comes out, who allegedly is beaten, and comes out twice or two times and says, I consented. And then she comes out another couple of times to say, look, I support Andrew Tate. Now, why that's important is you've basically got a woman saying, I've consented. And obviously, those actions don't seem right. So, for example, from my paradigm, which is a traditional paradigm, that's unacceptable. But from a Western liberal paradigm, this kind of king-type behavior is normal. We've seen that and I had an interaction with Kenyon about this. We saw that with 50 Shades of Grey, which is the biggest selling book of all time, written by a woman, talking about very, very extreme king-type behavior. So to pretend that doesn't exist in society is completely ridiculous. That's the first point. And to ignore that the woman has come out and said it was consensual. And actually, there's even a video where she actually says to him, look, you're not man enough. You're not hitting me hard enough. So there's even a video where she's basically goading him to say, look, do a better job in this role play. So again, that's my comments on that.
Okay.
Been under investigation by Hertfordshire Police over allegations of rape. Allegations the Crown Prosecution Service chose not to pursue in 2019 because there was no realistic prospect of a conviction.
Next, he launched a webcam business.
Again, and this is what Vice tried to do as well. The issue in United Kingdom with Hertfordshire Police, they try and frame it as though, you know what, the police dropped it. They didn't want to take it forward. No, that's not what happened. What happened was, in the United Kingdom, especially in the past, what they would do is whenever a woman claimed rape, they would take their phones. They would then investigate them phones and analyze them. So they did that with these two women who claimed that they'd been raped. And when they'd gone and looked at those phones, what they found is that these women were sending audio notes to each other, colluding to lie. And so when they saw that, they then decided that, look, these women are colluding, and therefore they decided to drop it based on that reason. They also informed the women and said, guess what? This is the reason. The women informed Vice and said, this was the reason why the investigation was dropped. But Vice, as well as Vice people who were writing on Twitter, either didn't highlight it or framed it in a totally different manner. And then you saw on BBC where, again, they framed it in an incorrect manner.
Yeah, I saw them breeze over that evidence too. Like it seemed clear to me that the English authorities found there was insufficient evidence to pursue it, so they dropped it. And, you know,
but not just insufficient. There was actually evidence showing they were colluding.
Collusion. Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Paying women to perform sexual acts for men online, streaming the content to potentially thousands of paying punters. It can be lucrative, and Tate developed.
Punter is a British term for what, simp?
British, so I missed that, sorry. British punter.
Yeah. What does that mean, punter?
I'm not, sorry, I missed the content. So punter could be someone who gambles as well, but I'm not sure. I missed the content.
All right, let me just back it up 20 seconds and play it again.
In 2019, because there was no realistic prospect of a conviction.
Next, he launched a webcam business, paying women to perform sexual acts for men online, streaming the content to potentially thousands of paying punters.
Oh, it just means paying people, I think.
Okay.
It can be lucrative, and Tate developed a taste for it. He wanted to expand. More women equals more money. And he came here to Romania.
We started this little webcam business from my apartment, and it just grew and grew and grew. And it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations. Damn. And I was doing $600,000 a month from webcam.
In Romania, webcamming is not just legal, it's booming. It's supposed to be the biggest center for that kind of entertainment in the whole of Europe. And it's another reason that Tate came here in the first place.
So, sorry, I mean, yeah, I was going to say, it's not legal to run a webcam studio in Romania. It's completely legal. Yeah?
Yeah. That's it. That's an important point to note because, again, everyone's been framing this whole thing as illegality. But in reality, he said quite clearly, it's legal, and you'll see now, he'll go to a studio and let's see how he frames that compared to the way he frames Tate's webcam business.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pinned down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.